John from What Up, and welcome back to another video. Now, if I seem a little giddy and I muddle my words a bit, it's because this is a really exciting video for me. We have a lot of news to cover today, and some of this news is big, and I'm talking very, very big. We get to see some set photos, some location photos, but in particular, there's one picture that has been pretty much scrubbed from the net. It's been taken out in a number of different places. You can still see it on Instagram at certain spots, but that's pretty much the only spots left of seeing it. I think it's still on Reddit. Maybe it's possible, although I think it was taken down in some other areas. And that is a set photo of Nynaeve and Perrin. So we're going to get to see that. You actually get to see Nynaeve's braid, which is absolutely amazing. Now, most of the stuff today is courtesy of WOTSERIES.com and NARG from the Daily Trolloc. So I've left a link down below to WOTSERIES.com website. The folks there are absolutely amazing. They do a lot of sleuthing. They do a lot of different things. Go check them out. Go bookmark their page and check back daily because they always put lots of really good stuff up. And I've left a link to NARG, his Instagram, as well as his subreddit, the Daily Trolloc. Both spots are really, really good spots to look for Wheel of Time news. And you're really going to want to check that out because NARG is the one that actually shared the set photos. So he gets some real good stuff, just so you're aware. Now, last little shout out before we get into the video, I want to thank Alitza. She is the one that does my graphic design. So all of these slides are from her. The music at the beginning of my video is also from her. And she has her own music channel. So if you haven't already checked her out, please go take a look at it. The link to her channel is down below in the description box. It is amazing. She does a lot of different types of music. She composes, writes, and performs all of it herself. And some of it is Wheel of Time themed. So if you're a big Wheel of Time fan, you want to go check that out because she has written some original stuff about the Wheel of Time and some things that have inspired her from the Wheel of Time. So please, please, please go check her channel out. Subscribe to her. She's absolutely amazing. Now, the last thing before we get into the video, spoiler warning. In this video, I'm going to talk about scenes from, quite possibly, New Spring, The Eye of the World, and The Great Hunt. So if you have not read at least the first 3 books of the Wheel of Time, be forewarned, I may spoil some or maybe all of them for you. Now, with that out of the way, let's get on to the video. Alright, so now we're going to get into the heart of it. We have a lot of news to get through here, and I tend to be a little wordy. I talk a lot, so I do apologize if it's a bit lengthy, but I'm pretty excited about all of this stuff. Now, we know that Wheel of Time production started back up again on September 7th. And as of, I believe, yesterday, and today is October 23rd, so the 22nd, Prague and the Czech Republic went back into a lockdown. Now, that lockdown does not affect the Wheel of Time production. They were given special access to keep filming their production, as well as some of the other films and television shows in the area. They're still being allowed to film. Stringent regulations are in place, so everybody's safe. However, they haven't shut them down. They haven't sent them away. They're letting them finish their projects, which, at least for us, is very, very good. But I want to begin by saying to the cast and crew, if any of you watch this, stay safe. Do everything you can. Yes, us as fans are very excited to see this show. We want it to be made. We want to see it on the small screen. However, it's not worth anyone's life or livelihood. Safety is paramount. Make sure you guys do everything safely. Make sure you're okay. And it'll get made eventually, one way or another. So with that out of the way, on September 7th, they're filming in some outdoor areas. Now, WheelOfTimeSeries.com did a lot of sleuthing, and they picked out quite a few of these areas around the Czech Republic where they could have been filming. Now, if you notice the picture on the left, the picture at the top right, and the picture just below that, they are some landscapes. Now, these filming locations were outdoors, away from towns and cities. Now, these are some possible locations, and to me, they look an awfully lot like the Blight or the Borderlands. So there's been a lot of speculation that Block 4, which is what they're filming right now, episodes 7 and 8, will take place in the Borderlands, the Blight, the Eye of the World, and Tarwin's Gap. Now, to me, these images sell it. They really do look like they're from that area, in my mind, when I read the books anyway. So whoever scouts locations for this show, they're doing a really good job. Maybe come to Nova Scotia and check out the locations around me. We got some pretty landscapes here, too. Anyway. Then after that, we have 2 images down on the lower right-hand side. They're from Terezin. Now, Terezin is a town in the Czech Republic, and these filming locations are around, the top one is Terezin, around the Upper Watergate, I believe it's called. Now, it's a pedestrian-only entrance into the town. It's a fortress town. And the bottom image is from Josef Fortress. Now, again, if I said it wrong, I'm sorry. Now, Terezin filming happened between 29th of September and the 1st of October, and Josef Fortress happened between September 30th and October 3rd. So there was some overlap there. So there's a lot of speculation that these 2 places are basically going to represent the same place when they film, just different areas of the same place, which to me makes a lot of sense because not every single area they're going to film in will match up completely with what the vision of the director or Rafe's vision would be for that area. So having similar areas with differing landscapes does work quite well. Now we're going to take a look at another slide here. This is from Terrazin. Now this is from NARG, from the Daily Trolloc. Now this is a possible set picture. Now I say possible because that's what he said. He didn't come right out and say it was actually taken from the Wheel of Time set. Now the Trolloc itself was added in by NARG, so for scale, I guess you would say. But this is pretty cool because it does show that they're mixing a lot of real landscapes, formed landscapes, and green screen, which leads me to believe that a lot of what we're going to see is going to be super fantastic because they can augment reality with some special effects, which is pretty cool. Now this next image, this is also from Terrazin. Now we talked about that upper water gate that is a pedestrian-only entrance. Now the hawk and whatnot and the banners, they were added. That's not actually a part of the town, so you don't see that there. Now, what do you guys see when you see the hawk and you see those banners? Now, to me, that's Shinar. 100% got to be Shinar. So I think we're looking at Fal Dara. So this may be our first look at images from the set of Fal Dara where they're going to be filming those final scenes in episodes 7 and 8, just before they go to the Blight and when they get back. So this is pretty neat. Now, this is pretty awesome because we have moats, we have walls, it's a fortress town, it looks really cool, it looks very authentic, and it's not something that the Amazon production had to build. They're actually using a real landscape for this, a real town, so that's really, really neat. Now let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think this is Shinar? Is that this place? Now that hawk, the swooping hawk on the banner, that's the Shinarian hawk. It is. That's just the way it looks to me. So let me know what you guys think. Now, the next one we're going to talk about here is another possible set picture. Now I say possible because this has not been completely confirmed or not, but it's green screen at night and it looks like they're blocking out shots. You see a lot of people laying on mats on the ground. Now if you look at the landscape around them, it's desolate, it's dark, it's, there's not much growing there. To me, this looks an awful lot like the Blight. This could be an image from the campsite on the way up into the Eye of the World. So when Moraine and the rest of the crew are trekking through the Blight and they stop that first night and she puts up the wards so no one can see them and they have all those little conversations and you have the conversation between Lan and Nynaeve, the really kind of tear-jerky one at the end of that first book. I think this is that scene because it looks like they're blocking out where people would lay on pallets on the ground sleeping, maybe around a fire, and they have the green screen around them to maybe add in the lakes and different things from that scene. So it does look to me an awful lot like it would be from that. It would be really cool to see the broken towers way far off in the distance from the green screen too, if they do that. I really hope they do. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is not a set photo, but it is Kira Chansa. She is playing young Suian. Now, sorry, young Swan. Again, I mispronounce things all the time. I corrected myself there, though. So she's playing young Swan. Now, that was broken by Redanian Intelligence quite some time ago, but never officially confirmed by Wheel of Time on Prime. Now, Wheel of Time on Prime seems to almost always confirm a leaked cast member, usually within a week or two, or the outside of a month. So they have some time yet to confirm young Swan, but because she is a child actress, maybe they won't do that. Maybe it's part of her contract. They can't do that, or maybe they're just not going to. I'm not entirely sure. But this was posted on and around October 9th, and it basically, she's saying rehearsals are out of the way, now it's time to shoot, and her talent group did put huge filming, good wishes to Kira Chansa, who's overseas shooting an epic new fantasy TV series for a major studio. That can mean none other than the Wheel of Time for Amazon. I can't think of anything else. So we do know that there's going to be a young Swan shot, at least one anyway, in episodes 7 and 8. So maybe, just maybe, we'll meet the Amberlin herself, and then we'll see some flashbacks to when she was very, very young, and she was in poverty before she came to the White Tower. Now, that would be pretty cool to see. There's been a lot of speculation how they're going to handle this, because the young Swan was not really this young in New Spring, nor was she really in the books at this age. So there's some allusions to it and some references, but nothing really concrete. So it would be kind of neat to see Rafe and them divine something of her backstory so we get to see that on screen. And this is something I've been saying for a while. I think a lot of our characters that we're going to get backstories on screen for, because let's face it, the bigger characters really do need those backstories for the viewers to feel more in tune with them, to cheer for them, to hate them, whatever, depending on the character. It's different when you read a book and you can get little snippets here and there and they talk about it, but on a TV show, you really do need to see that. You want to feel for these characters. And I think they're going to do a good job by showing a lot of backstory for some of these characters as we go along. All right, so up next we have the first of two very, very important set pictures I have for you today, and that is these particular soldiers. NARG from the Daily Trolloc did post this on his Instagram. He, of course, photoshopped the actors' faces out because no one wants to get anybody in trouble from the production in any way, shape, or form, but as super fans, we're all still going to dig through and get everything we can. Now, who do you think these are? Let me know in the comments down below right now. Pause the video, write down who you think these are before I give my 2 cents on who I think they are. All right, are you done? All right, so I think they're Shynarian soldiers, almost 100%. You take a look at the uniforms. You have the swooping hawk down below on the tabard, the yellow tassels, the yellow cloaks, the yellow trim. That, to me, screams Shynarian soldier. Just absolutely screams it. So this also looks like it was shot in Tennyson or one of the other fortress towns that they were filming at because of the red brick in the background. So it is quite possibly supposed to be the Fal Dara set with the soldiers on set. Now they are carrying what appears to be common soldiers' weapons, spears, nothing too fancy. So they're probably not lords. It's probably not Inkar. It's probably not Uno, who is higher up than the basic rank and file soldier. Probably just some rank and file actors for the background. That's my guess. But even looking at their costumes, holy moly, the attention to detail on this is absolutely amazing. Now we've seen basically 2 different costumes so far. We've seen Moraine's costume, her in her blue dress, and it was really cool. If you haven't seen that yet, I've done a video on that. Go check back my older videos. We have a first look at Moraine, which was a leaked set photo as well. And then we had 2 different videos I did on the White Cloaks. The first one was the wolves attacking the White Cloaks, set videos and pictures for that, as well as a set picture of some White Cloaks on a soundstage in their full regalia. Now, they were absolutely amazing. The attention to detail blew me away, and I am still not disappointed. The level of expectation for the show, for me, the bar has been raised because the costumes are absolutely amazing. Now, I have to give the costume designers a lot of credit here. They have almost nothing to work with. Robert Jordan didn't describe clothes at all. No, I'm just joking. They have a lot to go on. Robert Jordan was very descriptive when it came to clothes, when it came to tapestries, rugs. I think he talked about Elaine's hair for 3 pages. He's really good at that stuff. So, these people are taking his vision, what he wrote, and they're translating it to screen in such a way that it looks phenomenal. Good job. I want to thank everyone involved because you guys are doing really well with this. And again, I'm geeking out just a little bit here and probably rambling some because this is an amazing picture. I'm really happy to see this. Again, the first of 2. The second one is still to come later on in the video. All right, up next we have this particular post to Instagram. This particular post features Amir Chadha-Patel, Thomas Chahing, and a gentleman by the name of Guy Roberts. Now, if you remember the last video I did, I spoke about Amir, Thomas, and a lady named Sandra, who are all basically leaked being involved in the production by WheelOfTimeSeries.com. I talked a little bit about the careers and how good of actors and actresses they were because, let's face it, I heard about them, and I immediately ran out and watched a whole bunch of stuff before I made my video by all 3 of them, and they're really good. Like, they're great actors and actresses. They do a very good job at what they do. So Amazon is very lucky to have them, and so far Amazon, I don't think, has hired a single bad person. They're doing a lot of really great things with their actors and actresses. But what's interesting about this particular picture is the gentleman by the name of Guy Roberts. Now, Guy Roberts is the bald guy with the beard that looks a little bit like me. I might be prettier. I don't know. We'll see. But he is part of the Prague Shakespearean Company. He's an actor and a director, but he's based in Prague. So we can't say for sure, or I can't even guess if he's part of the production, because he's friends with some of the cast and crew. We know that for sure. That is a fact. He's based in Prague, so it's not a big stretch that he's visiting some of his buddies on set, or visiting some of his buddies out for dinner and whatnot, and has been around them. But it would also not be a big stretch to think that he's involved in the production in some way, shape, or form because he's an accomplished actor, he's really good at his craft, and he is in Prague. They don't have to fly him in, they don't have to put him up in a hotel, they don't have to do any of that stuff, they don't have to quarantine, he's there already. So, let me know in the comments down below, do you think that Mr. Roberts is part of the production or not? It's possible. Now, the last thing I want to say about this picture is the comments on the right. Now, they may be a little bit hard to see here, but basically what it is Sandra was saying something along the lines of, she said something which is not shown here, and then Thomas came back, I think you were shooting, to Sandra. She tagged her and it said, I think you were shooting. And then she wrote back, well, that's the only forgivable excuse, so why wasn't she there? she was shooting. That's another breadcrumb, another little tidbit to show that they're filming together for the show. Real-time series made a great case. This is just another little breadcrumb to that. All right, up next we have, again, from NARG and the Daily Trolloc, a possible set location. That's all he said about this. He said nothing else. Now, we know they're filming episodes 7 and 8, Block 4, and this doesn't really scream Borderlands to me at all. Not really. It looks to be very green. I mean, let's be fair. They can do wonders with computer animation and visual effects, so it's quite possible they can edit the background out completely and make it snowy and gross, or make it all cold and brittle with dead leaves and whatnot, to make it look more Borderlandish for the scenes in the final two, episodes. The last chapter is the Eye of the World, first chapter is the Great Hunt. But to me, Borderlander houses have steep roofs like this. Like they're really, really sharply steeped because of all the snow they get, and it's so the snow won't collapse the roof. This doesn't appear to have that. However, what do we know? We know that young Swan is going to be in episodes 7 and 8. To me, this screams a scene she would be in, because we may see her when she's younger, we may see her when she grew up poor, in a hut probably much like this. I would have to, if I had to venture a guess, I would say that Swan is probably in the scenes, young Swan anyway, Kira Chansa, and it's probably based in here. That's just me, but again, I'm spitballing here. I have no other information other than my own thoughts. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is this that scene? Or what else could it be? Now, I think I've made you all wait long enough. Here is what you've all clicked in the video for. You all want to see Nynaeve. You all want to see Perrin. You all want to see that famous braid. Here it is. Now, this image was everywhere for quite some time, and now it's only in a few different spots. You can still see it on Instagram. You can see it on Reddit. It's still floating around Twitter. As we all know, once something hits the internet, it's there forever. Now, what do we see here? We see in the foreground a giant hulking Marcus Rudda playing Perrin. Oh man, he's big. Like, I know some people have complained that he's too small, but the man is a giant. He is Perrin in my mind. In the background, you see your petite Zoe Robbins playing Nynaeve. Now, that iconic braid, of course, is down over. She has that there. I don't see her ripping it, so she's not angry, of course, but again, the costumes on these two characters look like something the Emonsfield folk would wear. They nailed it again. Now, I understand why Amazon was probably a little upset that this picture got leaked, because they want us to see their characters in full HD glory. They want us to see things polished and done, because when an artist is making something, they want the finished product to be shown, maybe not the journey. However, for us super fans, and let's face it, if you've made it this far through the video and you're subscribed to my channel, you're a real-time super fan. I'm labeling you all that for sure. I know I myself am. I finished Reread 49, waiting to do 50 because I want to do something special for the channel, but I've read the series way too many times. This is amazing. I mean, you could show us the grainiest, grossest looking picture and we would all geek out and pick it apart and just love on it so much. The general public who doesn't know what the wheel time is, maybe not so much, and that's honestly who Amazon is catering to for a lot of this stuff, is because they know that they're going to make the money from people who have not read the book series, because that's going to be their biggest audience. Maybe not their core audience, but their biggest audience. Just like when Game of Thrones came out and when The Witcher came out. A lot of people read the books, did watch both shows, but everyone else who had never read the books before watched them as well, and that's where their big audience came from. So to those people, they wouldn't even know who this is, nor would they care. But to people like you and to people like me, this is amazing. I squealed like a little girl when this came out. I was so excited, so happy, and I ran around the house and whatnot, and I've been looking at it nonstop. It's really, really cool to see our first image of these two on set. So there's that. Now, we have a couple more news bits to go through here, but before I get into them, let me know what you think in the comments down below. How cool does Perrin and Nynaeve look in this picture? Like, realistically, they look absolutely amazing to me. Let me know what you guys think. Now, the next thing we have is a banner. This is a picture of a banner that was on set. Now, who do you think this banner is? I want you to think about it for a minute. Pause the video again. Put a comment down below. Whose banner is this? Who does it belong to? Are you done? Have you come back? All right, so I'm going to read a passage, and I have to physically read it. This is from the Eye of the World, chapter 46, when they're in Fal Dara. This is talking about things on the Lord of Fal Dara's wall. One held a two-handed sword taller than man, a more ordinary broadsword, and below them a studded mace and a long kite-shaped shield bearing 3 foxes. So to me, this banner is probably the Lord of Fal Dara's banner. That would be my guess, basically from what we've read in the Eye of the World, what you've seen in the Companion, what you've seen in other areas. This is probably supposed to be in Fal Dara, which is pretty cool. It's another little tidbit, another little Easter egg that puts us, that they're filming in Fal Dara right now, probably in Tennyson, probably in the other areas. Well, they're probably done with that now. It's almost the end of October, let's be honest. But this is pretty cool because we get to see the banner of one of the big major characters in the first book, at the end of the book. So I'm happy to see that. Now, we're going to finish off the video with something that is maybe not a major piece of news, but it's still pretty cool, and that is the fact that Wheel of Time series broke these 2 things. Kristen Kopp, attached to Wheel of Prime as an assistant costume designer. She worked on Jason Bourne and Ford vs. Ferrari, and Daniel Lusa, now again, probably said it wrong, I'm sorry, as an effects technical director. They worked on The Rise of Skywalker and Aladdin. Now, these 2 people have very, very, very good pedigrees, very good careers, very, very good work behind them. And this just goes to show that Amazon is really picking top shelf, top tier people to work in their production because, let's face it, this is going to be massive. It's going to be a really big show. And if they're spending upwards of $15 million an episode, it better be absolutely amazing. And I have no doubt in my mind it's going to be cool. But let's face it, if they did an 8-bit animation of the Wheel of Time and with bloops and bleeps, I would still love it. I really would. I don't know if any of you played the old 8-bit RPG that someone had put online years and years and years ago based on Wheel of Time, but it was actually pretty good. If that was a show, I would still watch it because I'm that big of a fan. So, there we have it. That's all the news I have for you today. I'm really glad you stuck with me here to the very end. I want to thank you so much for that. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, please, please, please subscribe. I put out 1 to 2 videos per week, all Wheel of Time on Prime or Wheel of Time based. So I do some Wheel of Time explained videos, which is more for new readers or people who haven't read the series yet when the show comes out. I'm banking on people watching it then. There are not too many views right now. But I do a lot of news upon the show as well because I am a super fan and I geek out on this stuff all day long. I really do. So there's that. All right. Thank you so much for sticking with me here to the very end. And here's to many more.